What's up, everybody? Thanks for joining us this morning for LCA Elements. We're going to be speed coaching here. And if you're on the webinar side of this, we're going to allow you to jump in and talk. We can't see you, so that's okay. We won't see if you've got a morning head or whatever the heck it's called. I don't even, Nick, what the hell is it called? Bedhead? Is that what it's called?
Yeah, bedhead.
I probably said something else that I wasn't supposed to there. But Lon, how are you doing today, buddy?
It's awesome, man. This is another great day to be a real estate professional.
Oh, dude, love it. Nick,
I love it. I am doing great. So speed coaching, does it mean we have to talk really fast?
Go, 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 go. No, the idea behind it is.
I know what the idea is. I'm kidding.
I'm just joking with you. I love your shirt.
Okay.
I love your shirt. All right, guys. Well, let's get right into it. Everybody who's here, let us know what city and state you're from, and also if you have questions, go ahead and ask them in the Q&A. And what we'll do, you can raise your hand, you can ask the questions, and then we'll pick on you. We'll turn on the audio for you if you want, and then you can come in and ask your question. Looks like Lisa Harper. Charlotte, nice to have you. I use One Insta for both personal and business, good or bad, questioning after attending the summit last week. That's a great question, Lisa. Lisa, do you mind if I bring you on so you can ask that question live? Let me know if you're okay. Just to bring your audio on. Excellent. All right, here we go. You should have the controls here.
Did Lisa give you permission to do that with her?
Yep, she raised her hand. Yeah. What's up, Lisa?
Oh.
Hey, hi guys. Oh my gosh, I'm actually talking to you guys. You guys are like celebrities to me now.
Lisa, we love you. Thanks for your support.
So
that's a solid question. Can you repeat the question so everybody can hear it?
Yeah, I started on a team and their marketing people suggested having and using your Facebook for both personal and business. I already had a separate business Facebook because I already had that established prior to joining them. And, I'm 45, they were, younger, and I thought, okay, I'm going to listen to what they're saying. And so I created the Insta. It's actually with my realtor name in the word realtors in the, in my, what do you call it, tag.
Yeah.
I don't even know the lingo.
That's okay.
But so now I was questioning it after last week, which thanks again for keeping those on and leading us towards all this information. But now I'm like, before I really make it robust, like I have a huge to-do list from last week. And I'm like, should I separate before doing that and attacking all these action items?
Guys, do you mind if I take this one, or anybody want to take this one?
I mean, I have an opinion on it too, but you can go ahead.
No, you go first and then I'll top it off.
So with Instagram, like creating a business page on the outside to the consumer or your friends doesn't look much different than a personal page. The only difference is you get more analytics and you have a call to action in terms of call me, email me, message me, right? I actually feel like you can do both on the business side and the personal side with Insta, because it's all one and the same, as opposed to Facebook where the two are separate. Like you can't have a Facebook business profile other than your business page that's separate, whereas on Insta it can be one and the same. And like I said, the only difference is you can boost your posts, you can see your analytics, and you can have a call to action. So I would just make it a business page and then do a little bit of personal and business together.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. Yep. That's kind of where I was leaning, but after, like, I really want to sharpen things up after last week.
As real estate agents, we're also in a very personal career where a lot of people that work with us, they work with us because they can relate to us. So I feel like it's one and the same. It's definitely like an intertwining business more so than many other businesses.
Okay, good. Because I'm like posting, I'm doing like, crafts. I'm artsy too. And I'm like, okay, here's my COVID stay-at-home craft from the past weekend. And I'm like, should I be doing that?
Oh, yeah, 100%.
Okay, perfect.
Lisa,
okay.
You need to be You need to be showing who you are and how you connect on a personal level as well as business. Exactly what Nick said. And the only thing I can add to it is just make sure that on your profile section, on your bio, that you make that more attractive. And as well, like say who you are, things that you do, put your hobbies in there too. And then make sure that you put one link on your bio that really explains to people who you are, or a special deal you have, or a great listing that you have if you want to make it more real estate oriented, and make sure to use stories as much as you can as well.
Okay. All right, perfect. Thank you, guys.
All right, thank you so much. Great question, Lisa. All right.
Thanks for calling, Lisa.
Thanks for calling. Thanks, Lisa. Let me disable the talking. There we go, guys. All right, so we've got a couple more questions. We've got Andrea Miller. She says, in the current climate, what are your suggestions for managing risk? Other agents allowing showings before stay-at-home orders were lifted, so buyers lost out on property, but I'm not willing to risk a fine. I'm willing to do showings, but live with high-risk people, so only under really strict guidelines. I feel like the strict parent, and then she has an unhappy face. You want me to bring her in? Andrea, do you want me to bring you in? Let me know. Just raise your hand if you want me to bring you in just for audio purposes. If not, then do not raise your hand. And let me check her out right now. And oh, perfect. We're going to bring her in, guys. Andrea, let us know when you can hear us online.
I can hear you.
Perfect. We got you. All right. So great question. I'm going to go to Long or to Nick on this one. I feel like
I have a lot of restrictions.
I know you do.
Yeah, so
let's go with Long, and then you can top it off.
we all know, right? A lot of this is state specific too. Like Nick is in really high risk state, Michigan. It has way more cases than Minnesota. So, the key is just practice safety, making sure that all parties involved are not going to be at risk. So whatever your state's allowed, and then find solutions such as maybe doing the virtual showings instead, using 3Ds, technology, camera, maybe FaceTime, whatever it takes. There's different ways. Mike, Bernie, and I here in Minnesota, actually both of us personally still do several transactions, and both of us just have successfully done a transaction where virtually we never even shown the property or met the person in person. So just heads up on that. There are ways to do that.
Yeah, I'm also going to add, you had a couple things in there, like agents showing property before shelter in place was lifted. I mean, well, that's just being careless, right? Like, if real estate's non-essential, I don't know if it is in your state, and you're under shelter in place, you're essentially breaking the law, and that's a misdemeanor charge if you're caught. So, it's one thing doing what's right, and it's another thing doing what's safe. If you're essential and you're allowed to show homes and it's still shelter in place, then do it safely. If you're not essential and you're shelter in place and people are showing homes, that's just careless and unsafe and illegal, and you will get a misdemeanor if caught. So you have to abide by your state laws. It's not a discussion. So figure out what your state laws are and follow them.
So I'm in Colorado, and they just lifted the stay-at-home orders yesterday.
Okay.
But a lot of counties extended them. So real estate transactions were essential, but the governor was really specific that showings were not. So we have not been doing showings for a month. So now the governor says, okay, you can do showings, and every county has kind of like their own rules. So just with the office trying to figure out what we can and cannot do, and there's a lot of frustration, and I feel frustrated because I have to be really careful. Like, I have personal reasons to be really careful, and I'm worried that my clients won't understand that, I guess.
So Andrea, here's the thing. I've been in the business 14 years. If your clients don't understand, then they don't respect you. That's just what it comes down to. And so you don't want to work with people that don't respect you. And if you feel like it's not worth showing the house because you don't feel you're going to be safe, and they don't understand that, then it's time to find new clients. And it took me a really long time to come to that realization, because I was living paycheck to pay, living commission to commission to commission. But once you start working with people that respect you, then it becomes more of a business. Like, then you don't have to worry about that. Don't work with people that don't care about your health and that don't understand why you don't feel comfortable doing it right now. And when you do feel comfortable doing it, you should still take precautions. Wear a mask, wear gloves, bring your hand sanitizer, stay a nice distance apart. Just protect yourself. And that's just what it comes down to. Because honestly, like, no showing of a home is more important than getting sick and going to the hospital. That's just how I look at it. Like if I was a police officer or a doctor, that's different. That's your job. Your job as an agent is not to get sick showing a home. So work with people that
you don't want to die.
No, work with people that respect you and understand that concern. And if they don't, then they can find another agent to do that for them, and then find someone that does respect you and understand. That's all.
Thank you.
I know it's hard. I know it's hard because we want the money, but it's a lot more expensive to go into the hospital. I'm just letting you know.
Yeah, just remember, look, without health, there's no wealth. That's it.
Right.
That's how I remember it. So, good. Thanks for being on, Andrea.
Thank you.
All right, guys. There's quite a few more questions on Facebook and on
there's
here.
a lot of questions.
Yeah, Martie Wynn, I'm going to bring her on. Let me see if it's okay with Martie first. Martie, let me know. Raise your hand if it's okay to bring you on. If not, we'll just ask the question live. Either way. All right, perfect. She raised her hand. Let me bring her on here. Martie,
you're the 100th caller.
Martie wins. All right, let's see here. All right, allow to talk. Martie, controls are to you. There you go. Martie, hello.
Hi, what do I win if I'm the 100th caller?
You win a hug when we're allowed to hug people again.
Oh, there you go. Beautiful.
All right, Martie, so can you please ask your question so everyone else can hear it?
Sure. So I am looking for the best email campaign software tool. I currently use MailChimp, but I'm wondering if there's something better or easier out there to use.
Mike, you just jumped in. Do you want to chime in on this? Because I know Nick uses MailChimp and he does a great job. Long, Mike, either one?
I was going to suggest the same thing. MailChimp is the first thing that came to mind. So do you have anything better, Tristan?
I use three. So Nick and I both use ConvertKit for lab coat agents, and it does really well, but it has less of a design factor to it. So it means that it'll go into your inbox a lot more. So people don't have to worry about those graphics not going in. And then I use ActiveCampaign. ActiveCampaign is what I use for A Brilliant Tribe. And I've got 43,000 people in that one, and people love it. Again, it's simple to use. And then I know Nick does an amazing job with his command. He has a Keller Williams command newsletter that goes out, and he uses MailChimp. And so it's easy to design. Nick, how do you design it? How easy is that?
So it's so easy.
Thank you, Nick.
It's very easy. Like you just keep using the same template and just drag and drop videos and pictures and stuff. There is another one that I just got that someone just told me about, and I can't remember what it's called. If I can remember it by the time this is over, I'll type it into the chat there. But it looks
Martie,
beautiful and stuff.
The thing that you have to remember is when you're using MailChimp or anything else, you also have to remember that there's a supplemental factor here. And Mike and Lon can attest to this, guys. You're also having everyone that comes in on drips for property, right? So that's a separate thing on its own. Mm-hmm. So you just have to remember to do both. One, to touch them in a sense to be a little bit more who you are. This is what's going on, right? That personal thing. And I love MailChimp for that. And then the business one. Guys, anything else I'm missing, guys, on this?
I think
with everything in place, sheltering in place, the easiest way to touch them is via email or campaigns and things like that. Would you increase that, or is that too much? Because right now, I mean, just as an agent, I'm getting bombarded with everything right now. So of course, I don't want to push my clients away and discourage them by emailing them too much. But at the same time, you want to stay in front of them.
Yeah, but you do, but you don't want to stay in front of them with canned, like if it's your clients, you don't want it to be canned, right? You don't want to just send emails for the sake of sending emails. And so if people are unsubscribing and they're leaving a reason, sometimes I realize I need to dial back my emails a little bit, because some of the reasons why this wasn't clients, but it was agents. They said that I was sending the emails too much. So I was like, oh, okay, I'll dial it back, right? So just see if they're unsubscribing, see if they're leaving a reason as to why, and that'll help you learn a little bit more about it. But I think with your sphere of influence, you don't need to send an email a day or an email a week. I would mix that up with phone calls and text messages too.
If I could add,
go ahead.
If I could add to that too, it really goes back to sort of the 7L methodology. If who's ever familiar with Michael Myers' book is 7L, the informational and advertising is kind of different than influential communication. So people that you have a really close relationship, as Nick was saying, you probably don't want to do anything canned. You want real outreach, real connection. For those that, that don't know you very well, when it's just more about advertising information, the drips work fine. So it really depends on your intention and who you're talking to at the time.
Yeah, that's it. And then one thing I can add, guys, as we wrap up this one with you, Martie, is that I got an email earlier today from a brokerage giving me all of the places that I can go and educate myself on Ivy School courses for free. And I thought, oh, that's amazing content. I love that, right? So make sure that the content you're providing is valuable. That's all I can say.
I got an email today that was, now that you remind me, about the top 10 virtual events to attend right now.
Oh, that's online. Cool. I like that.
Yeah, like some of them are museums that are doing VR tours through the Museum of Modern Art or the Museum of Natural History. Yeah. Turning their charging a small fee to walk through and see these exhibits on your phone or computer. So that stuff is cool too. And I would add, that type of value to your database is really incredible. People love that.
So also,
I love that.
Tristan,
now it's just go ahead.
I was just going to ask a question. So Tristan, out of all the different, because back to the original question of which delivery method for the campaign, out of all the ones you named, what would you describe as being the easiest to use?
MailChimp, probably the easiest one. And you know what? There's another one that's really easy. It is Sendinblue. That was the other one, Sendinblue. But by far, MailChimp's the easiest. Active campaign
is not the prettiest, but it's definitely the easiest.
Yeah, agreed. Well, Martie, thank you for being on.
The open rate's huge.
It is huge. That's true. They do push that. So, Martie, thank you for being on. We appreciate you.
Thank you for the answering.
Thanks. All right, let me disable that, guys. We've got 10 minutes. Let's speed through the rest of them. Marianne Rulo has a great question. Let me see if she wants to be on. I like her question a lot because it applies to a lot of agents. Marianne, let me know if you want to be on. Just raise your hand. I'll bring you on to speak. Perfect. She's got it. I'm going to allow you to talk. All right. Microphone's on your end. How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
Good, good. Thanks for being on. Can you repeat the question? It's a really good question.
I'm a solo agent, so I have my hands in all aspects of the business. I don't know how, and I function on organization. How do you organize each aspect of this business, from buyers to sellers to checklists for your, when you're going through a transaction, leads, advertising? Like, what is a system that works so you don't miss a step?
It's a good one.
That's a really good question.
Long, you take all the hard questions, okay? This is for you.
Hey, this is a great panel. So you guys are saying everything I need to say. But yes, I would start with, Marianne, systems run business, people run systems. So have a system process for everything. If you need to, I think you had used the word already, flow chart. Like put down all the process for everything and make sure that it's visualized in front of you so you understand it. Because for right now, as a solo agent, you're going to be wearing all those hats, right? So you're the people who's plugging into the system. Eventually, as you grow, Mike Bonilla taught a really great class on scaling your business, is that as you grow, you're going to start removing yourself and plugging other people in. already have a system process set up. So it doesn't matter what tools, technology you use, just make sure you know your flow chart and your system and your process for your business and continue to it and make sure that you can share that and visualize it with people and your team as you grow.
Yeah, great question. Some people are saying you should use something like Trello as well. What do you guys think of that?
Trello, then there's, what's the other one? Monday, I think it's called.
Monday's good. I like
Yeah,
Monday.
that's another one. Yep. We do a lot of our workflows right on Trello. A lot of our task assignments, a lot of our checklists. If you use some of the power upgrades, I mean, it can integrate with calendars. So you can definitely leverage technology in order to help with this. But I think what Long is really talking about is make sure that you're building out your systems. That way when you start to really grow and scale out of solo agent, at some point you're going to get to a point that you can't do anymore yourself. If you start to grow beyond that, you've got to have something that's plug and play to train people with some sort of methodology, and you don't want to kind of recreate that as you go every single time. So make sure you're documenting and logging how you do everything.
Great. Thank you.
Thanks, Marianne.
Thank you.
Appreciate you. All right, good, guys. We've got about 7 or 8 minutes left. Let's see, Eric Nelson. Eric, let me know if it's okay to bring you on. Raise your hand. If you're not okay being on, then lower your hand. But let me see.
Or don't raise it at all.
Oh, you raised it. Perfect. All right. Mike's on your end, Eric. How are you?
Hey, good. Good morning, guys.
What's up?
What's
buddy?
up, Eric?
Hey, yeah, I've been struggling. I know social media and having that presence is huge. Biggest struggle though is not turning off clients and just struggling for relevant content, not being too canned.
Okay, so what you're saying is you're having trouble with your content and being relevant, right? That's basically what you're saying, and
Yes.
trying to stay in front of them consistently now that they're at home and trying to stay top of mind.
Yeah, exactly. And I think my biggest fear is before I was in real estate, I'd never liked or was a fan of any realtors. So I guess what I'm trying to articulate is I don't want to come off too corporate or hey, if you're looking to buy or sell, I love referrals. I mean, I can only do that a time or two before I notice I'm losing my audience.
For sure. Yeah, I don't like that approach either. I think if if you have to ask for referrals, then you're not doing a good enough job letting people know what you do on a regular basis, right? Like, your friends and family and past clients already know you're an agent, so just providing them value and making sure, seeing if they need anything is really goes a lot further. But right now, like, I think if you become the local expert in what's going on in your immediate area, keeping your friends and family and clients informed in what's happening, right? Like, I would take that and run with it. I know there's a lot of agents out there creating different Facebook groups, highlighting local businesses, helping them still stay front and center with the community, and just getting in front of them that way. Like, even if you make it a point to like jump on a Zoom call a couple times a week with the local florist or the local sandwich shop, things like that, to let people in the area know, you might not be able to physically, now I don't know where you are, but you might not be able to physically go to this shop at this store, but they can still deliver to your house, and let's talk to them about the type of service that they give you. Or like my personal trainer from my gym, she's doing live Zoom workouts in a private group, and so you can highlight that. People want to know what's still available to them, and getting in with local businesses right now and highlighting them is really powerful. So I would start focusing on that a little bit.
Yeah, it's a great point, Eric. I'm going to add one more thing, and then I'm going to switch over to the next question, and that's this: you need to create an outline of what you need to post. It becomes a challenge when you don't know what to post next, and so we created this to be able to know what's next, and we alternate between this. So it's easy to remember. It's teach on one day, sell the next day, talk about you the next day, and then the last one is give advice, and then you rotate. Teach, sell, you, advice. Teach, sell, you, advice. This way, it becomes a system, and like Long was saying, when you create a system out of something, all of a sudden, it starts working for you, right? So make sure that you are creating systems for everything that you're doing, one of those being social media. So
Tristan, I think I'd like to also add really quick, what you just showed was a content calendar, really. It was a content grid and a content calendar, so that's what we're talking about with systems. Create a calendar of what you want to deploy, because if you have to think about it every single day, if you get up in the morning and go, what am I going to send today? You're already behind the 8 ball. You just want something you can tap into and know what you're going to do.
Yeah, I love that. Guys,
Awesome.
Eric, thank you so much, buddy. Appreciate you being on. I'm going to disable the talking. Thank you so much. All right, guys, one more question. This was a 2-part question by Candace. Let me see if she wants to be on. Candace, let me know if you want to be on, and I'll bring you on. Your questions are both great, and then we'll end it with this one. Perfect. I'm going to allow her to talk now. Guys, you may see some of us bring up some amazing things like the content calendar. We're working on something called LCA Elements. So as we get closer to showing you what this will be, we'll be able to show you how to get these all. So guys, stay tuned for LCA Elements. Candace, I'm going to bring you on. I'm going to allow you to talk. Mike's in your control now. How are you, Candace?
I'm fabulous. How are you guys?
Good, good. Thanks for being on.
I'm grateful for all your segments. I've been tapping on a lot with both of you. So here's I have been working with my coach, Matt Sutter, and we just developed me doing these Facebook Lives, and I recently was on one of your webinars about that. So one of the things that I'm doing, instead of doing it daily or 4 times a week, I created conversations with Candace, and I'm inviting some of my preferred vendors that I work with alongside of me. So like this Thursday, I'm doing one with my mortgage lender. Last week, I did one with an investor client of mine. And what I just want to make sure, like by bringing someone on with me, that's not taking away from me showcasing that I'm bringing value to my clients. I mean, I'm bringing people on that are saying, I work with Candace and she does this, but we're also both together. They're bringing content and I'm giving them great exposure too. So I kind of created my own show. I'm not going to lose what I'm really trying to do here by doing that, am I?
I don't think you are, guys. Nick, Mike, Long.
So the concern. Go ahead, Mike. No, you go ahead, Mike.
Okay, so I was going to say one thing.
I love it. I got 3 men fighting over me.
I'm going to let Nick go. He's got something important. I can tell. I can look at him. He's got something important.
Is it a bad question?
No, I just want to understand your concern. So your concern is if you go live with someone else, you want to make sure that the viewer realizes that you guys are a team or that you guys work together, or what's the message that you don't want to get lost?
My message, period, to create Facebook Lives, as you know, is to get in front of my audience
100%. To
bring value and say, hey, I'm a real local realtor, and this is the value I'm bringing because I'm discussing tax topics, I'm discussing mortgage topics, I'm discussing why it's a great time for investors. I'm an ex-CPA tax attorney, so I'm going to do a tax segment. I'm going to show them that I'm not just the average real estate agent. So by also bringing on some guests with me, we're kind of like playing off each other on whatever the topic is. So like the following week, my subject matter is get your home ready for spring. I was thinking of maybe inviting either one of the interior designers I work with or a stager. I'm doing most of the conversation, and these are vendors that work alongside of me when I am listing a home. So I don't know if I'm diminishing what I'm trying to do for myself.
Yeah, your concern is that you still want your viewers to realize that you are a real estate professional and can help them while you're interviewing the people that you're featuring on the live stream. Is that what you want?
Right. And I'm not necessarily interviewing them. We're both just kind of playing off each other and just like talking.
Hey, Tristan, what's that app that allows you to add a little banner at the bottom of your screen?
Yeah, that's what I was trying to find.
BeLive.tv.
BeLive.tv.
Yeah, that's the one.
And that way you'll also be able to have a little banner at the bottom of your screen, you know, with your name and your number and your contact information. But I also think if you're providing really valuable content to people, you know, they're not gonna, I don't think they're gonna lose sight of the fact that you're a real estate professional, because you're bringing on people and local businesses and people that are working with you specifically, and at least you're getting in front of them as well, right? Like I was saying to, I think it was Eric previously, if you're bringing these people on and you're having conversations with them and you're talking about their business and you're supporting them, that's a whole other relationship that you're forming with them in terms of like a referral business that could potentially be there. And you're also positioning yourself to be someone who delivers valuable content and information to the people watching. So I don't think you have to worry too much about whether or not people will remember or know that you're a real estate professional, because if they're getting value from what you're providing, they're going to check. So for instance, like when I would go into local community groups and answer questions about real estate that people had, you know, in a thread, or just provide value or make posts that were interesting and engaging that weren't related to real estate, if people find value in it, they'll click through to your profile and they'll see what you do. And if they want your services, they'll reach out. So don't focus too much on whether or not people can remember that you're doing real estate. Just focus on bringing the value and the knowledge and giving people what they want.
That's why
everything else will fall in your lap.
That's why I thought it was better to even bring it. I just felt like it went smoother, and that as long as basically it was, should I do them solo or is it okay to do it with somebody? And I felt like they were better quality content, and I'm more relaxed when I have somebody with me.
Yeah.
So
well, the thing is, you know, when Tristan and I do a webinar together, it's usually better when I'm doing them by myself. No, I'm kidding. When Tristan and I do a webinar together, we feed off each other. So it's always nice to have someone there to, like, you know, bounce things off of. So
can I give a perspective on that too? I mean, think about it this way. Would you want everybody in your sphere, your database, to think of you like Angie's List? If they need something, I'd rather have them coming to me, because it's like literally, if they want a plumber, call me. They want a mortgage lender, call me. So what I want is for everybody to think of me when they need something, regardless if it's about real estate or not. I can't tell you how many transactions will happen that way when you become an influencer and authority figure inside your own sphere. So I think it's always great to make sure that everybody understands that you are a hub, not a spoke in your relationships.
Like a go-to.
Totally.
I have all these people that are on my team that I've vetted to work with me. Perfect.
Correct.
Thank you, guys.
You got it.
Thanks,
All right,
Candace.
that is a wrap. Candace, thank you so much for being on. Appreciate you. And guys, again, we'll be on tomorrow. I know there's a whole bunch of questions that we didn't get to. 30 minutes every day. Stay tuned as to what LCA Elements will become in the next few weeks, and it will be led by all four of us. Guys, thanks for being on. Anything you guys want to add here in closing?
No, I'm hungry. I have to go eat something.
All right, get a sandwich with egg and avocado and a little bit of mayo. That would be perfect.
Oh, that sounds good. I'm going to go do that right now.
Thanks, Mike. Thanks,
See you guys.